The first one is the last one. It's not clear who the author is, Polo or Rustichello. They actually had like a couple of paragraphs about that one. All right, question number 2. Based on information in the section Marco Polo's book, which of these statements is true? Marco Polo's stories are the most accurate stories about China's history that exist today. Marco Polo's stories about China are captivating and for the most part fairly accurate. Marco Polo's stories about China are largely inaccurate since he skipped a few major Chinese innovations. Or Marco Polo's stories about China are largely inaccurate because he did not even write the stories Rustichello did. So this is the section, if you guys remember when we were talking yesterday, it's the section that said about how the book was kind of seen as like maybe it was made up, but historians know that it wasn't actually made up. So which one of these do you think is the most true? Would you say that his book is inaccurate at all? Nevaeh, would you say it's inaccurate? Or Shirley, would you say it's inaccurate?
Which one of us are you asking?
Either one of you. So Nevaeh said no. She says it's not inaccurate, and I would agree with that. It's not inaccurate. Even though it left some things out, that doesn't make it an inaccurate book. So you know it's going to be one of the first two. So Shirley, do you know which of the first two you would say?
B?
B? I think that is correct, Shirley. Marco Polo's stories about China are captivating and for the most part fairly accurate. Moving on to question number 3. Which answer choice correctly describes the relationship between Marco Polo and Kublai Khan? Marco Polo and Kublai Khan were not friendly to each other. Marco Polo did not enjoy his time in China with Kublai Khan. Kublai Khan ruled over Marco Polo. He forced Marco Polo to complete various jobs and tasks around China. Marco Polo was a servant to Kublai Khan. Kublai Khan enjoyed having Marco Polo in China. Or Marco Polo and Kublai Khan were allies. Marco Polo helped Kublai Khan take over Mongolia. So if we look at these, Marco Polo and Kublai Khan were not friendly to each other. Is that true or false? Aaron?
False.
False. So we know it's not going to be that one. Kublai Khan ruled over Marco Polo. He forced Marco Polo to complete various jobs. Did he force Marco Polo? My Teams is so frozen, I can't tell if anybody's raising their hand. So, Jimmy, if you're there, did he force Marco Polo to be a worker?
Aaron's hand is up.
Aaron?
No.
No? Okay. Was he a servant? Was Marco Polo a servant to Kublai Khan? Nevaeh, was he a servant?
No.
Remember, Marco Polo's dad offered Kublai Khan as a servant, right? So it's that one. It's the third one. Marco Polo was a servant to Kublai Khan, and Kublai Khan enjoyed having Marco Polo in China. He liked having Marco Polo because he could help in those areas that didn't want to be ruled by the Mongolians. And then question number 4. According to the article, why was Marco Polo's book important to Europe? The book was Europe's primary source of information on the mysterious Chinese Empire. The book contained the most accurate descriptions of the Chinese Empire. The book contained strange stories about Chinese people and inventions, or the book missed a few key innovations that Marco failed to notice. So why was it important to Europe? Any guesses on this one? This one I think is a little bit more obvious. Aaron, do you have a guess?
It was the main source of information.
Yep, so it's the first one. The book was Europe's primary source of information on the mysterious Chinese Empire. So you guys can go ahead and submit that, and I'll stop recording now. Go ahead and submit that.